Hello, guys. Welcome to the first podcast of Soccer Velo Insight. For this first podcast and first format, we have a great friend, Igor, who is the founder of Gymnasia. And today we're going to talk about a little bit about his background. We're going to talk about um, how he succeeded being a developer for Grammarly, one of the initial founder, and how he went to Georgia, came to Georgia, and to found Gymnasia. Very interesting story coming up. So enjoy.
Hi everybody. This is also first podcast for me,
Yes.
first ever. But I'm huge fan of Joe Rogan podcast, Lex Friedman podcast, and gladly share my story.
And soon he will be a great fan of Sakarva Inside podcast as well.
Nice. Yeah. Uh, I'll tell some maybe like short thesis of my career. I started when I was like young. I had like pretty poor childhood. I don't have enough money, and I figured out that software engineers are getting the most like the biggest salaries back then. So I decided maybe I should learn this craft. Um, so I found some courses, like 1 month courses, and learned some things. And from that point, I started to write code, like try different stuff, and uh, I like spent 2 years like doing different projects. I made accounting software for my mother. I tried to build software for people who make honey. It
At what
was
what age you were at this point?
it was around 20 years, 19 years. Uh, and I got a lot of experience. No, like almost no financial gain from that, but it was good learning. And from that point, I tried to become entrepreneur, to make my outsourcing company. It was in Kiev, Ukraine, and in this mode, I spent 6 years.
So for your own company, it was your own company,
My
outsourcing company.
yeah, my own company, like spent 6 years doing that, made all possible mistakes, a lot of pain, a lot of different like mistakes with partnership, like learned a lot. And uh, I managed to get it was basically my education. I got experience with management. I got experience with like solid technical base, how to make front ends, back ends, and at that point, I wanted to leave this partnership that I was in, and I started to look around, and some guys proposed me to try to build with them prototype of browser extension that would highlight spell checking errors on the web. And I built a prototype, and we started to like work together on product, which eventually became a Grammarly browser extension, then web editor. Uh, yeah, and from that point, I moved all my energy to building this company. And back then, it was even not Grammarly. It had
How
different
was
name.
it called?
Um, the name was there was like company called Cyvors, and they had I even don't remember how
No.
product they called, like some different name.
The initial drive to code was to uh, escape poverty, right? That was your initial drive. That
Yeah,
was
it
was
was.
behind your first targeting of one goal and to just escape from that environment.
Yeah, it was a tool to escape that. Yeah, and then I fell in love with that, and it helped me to like get my craft. And yeah,
How the coding and programming changed the way you think?
yeah, it changed a lot because in programming you use a lot of mental models and concepts that are applicable to the real life. For example, when some software crashes, it usually a sequence of like several failed checks, failed like layers of protection, you know. Same thing happens to like any crash in like physical world. It's usually one mistake, then second mistake, like combination of mistakes. Same thing in software. Then I liked a lot that in software you use like data, a lot of data, a lot of statistics, and you learn to think non-binary way, but like you use probabilities to make your decisions.
So you change your decision making process. So you remove from your mental model inferior thinking all superstition, just to look at what could be as close to the truth as possible,
Yeah.
and then
And you have tools also to check this truth, so you, because programming it is very precise thing, like precise instructions, and when you create something, you may create some like main path like easy, but then you get into the edge cases, and those edge cases take a lot of time to like cover them, which is also like happens to any stuff that you build like in real life. And but in this virtual world you can experience a lot of such stuff, like so you learn quicker because you have this feedback loop quicker. And also another thing, that when you start to work in this field, and this field is like edge field, progresses a lot, it's very new, and a lot of like bright minds they participate in this environment, in this um, like community. So you learn from those people, and they also bring a lot of like best cutting edge management practices.
so you start developing this extension Grammarly. You stay in Ukraine for how long? How long did it take before your company becomes uh, gain traction from the moment you start building it?
When I joined, at this point, company, I think it was about 1 or 2 years old, and it started to Ukrainian founders, Alexei Shevchenko and Max Litvinov. They started this company, and it was their second company. First company, they successfully sold and got some resources to fund next company. First company did plagiarism checks, and second company like Grammarly had this plagiarism check as a feature, and they like funded a team, and team started to look for some ideas how to make a product. And when I came, there were like 15 people already in small apartment office, and it took me around 2 years to build like bulletproof, like this engine that highlight errors.
So you're the guy who actually built the engine behind Grammarly, like.
This engine that highlights errors, because it's very it's maybe not very hard science task, like computer science task, but it's like very hard empirical task, because you have to like physically fix all those bugs that you get into different websites. So it's just matter of hours and hours to like find all different cases and like find a sustainable thing. And once you get it, you can like spread this product to like a lot of people.
Did Grammarly help you with your English or no?
I think so. I think so. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, but from this technical, there was like technical blocker for us. There was also like major business blocker because Grammarly initially was um, uh, like premium product. To get check results, you had to pay. You had to put your credit card number and get result. It worked, but this solution would not allow company to grow to this side that
So the
it got eventually.
business model changed.
Yeah, so there was like a very key point for the company to switch from uh, premium model to freemium model. When you become available to like millions of users by free product, and some like small percentage of those can convert to premium user and pay actual money.
Sure.
So it was like very risky period of company when we switched that, and we got understanding that this is a viable business that can like grow as like typical startup. Yeah.
Great. Great. So after 2 years, you get the traction. You make the product viable, and then what's happening? Can you quickly take us through the different steps that took the company through that level of today? And when your adventure with Grammarly stopped, I mean, and how do you go through something else?
I think in 2014 or 13 we moved to this freemium model. From this point, we understood that business is viable, and it started to grow rapidly. And we also started to get a lot of like technical issues because of this growth. We had to scale to introduce different practices. We also got like pretty like because company grew fast. We also got some mistakes with our decisions, like some hiring mistakes, like every startup has probably. And yeah, but growth was pretty good. And I think another major point was when a company raised a round, and it was mostly like PR round. There was like I think valuation around $500 million at
First round
first round.
at $500 million.
Yeah, and it was like specifically for publicity because we had problems with hiring people in US, hiring good tech like engineers, because in US you compete with Google, Facebook, and those companies like take all talent. And we thought that it like if we cannot compete at this point, because like what is Grammarly? It's like small button. What is this? Is this even business? But when we got this valuation, it helped us
Got it. Got it.
to get.
So basically, you make the move uh, towards sale of equity just as a way to say, okay, we have this valuation, we are serious. Now we need good developers, we need good tech guys. Look at our valuation. You should come to us. That was the move.
Yeah. It was mostly for hiring. Yeah, and like it's company, but like my life there was like separate track. So maybe I'll share my personal
Sure,
experience.
sure. So
So when I started, there were like 15 people. Then around this freemium time, we got around 100 employees and opened office in San Francisco. I was still in Kiev. And at this point, we introduced company values. So it the company became like shaped more like some like small corporation, and it was already different company. When we got to the next level with this valuation, it was already different company. Like like bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's I'm not in the company, but company now very different because even just like we had like back then like maybe 3 designers. Now it's like several dozens of designers. Yeah, so my personal thing was like I had to be adaptable because like I am self-taught engineer, and it appeared that I missed some like fundamental computer science skills. So I built this product, and like I understand like my hacker mindset in terms of like um, finding right solution that will be timed well, so we will ship product. They were good at that point, but then when we want to scale team, their team needed like some different mindset. So at some stages I was the person who lead. At some points I was person who was just like regular engineer. But still like I always like use my entrepreneurship mindset to like I participated in all aspects of company, but I also like learned a lot of engineering practices from guys who are like more fundamental. And
Because
we
you didn't go through engineering school. You didn't.
yeah but like even like field is so new, so I don't think like
Understand.
engineering school.
Understand.
Yeah, but some guys who came, they had like better engineering practices, and I think like it was very productive to learn from each other. Like some guys learned from me, like my mindset to like ship quickly. I learned from them like how to like be more mature in some practices, and we rewrote several times our code base as well, because like code base it tends to, when it grows, it tends to become like to accumulate
Mistakes.
technical debt,
Yes.
you know,
Uh huh.
and you have to like always rewrite it or think. Yeah, so I think during my time at Grammarly I participated maybe in like 4 or 5 major rewrites of like everything.
The whole code.
Yeah, like my part, but in different. So I
Got it.
didn't touch like this intelligent machine learning stuff, but all about interfaces. Yeah, there was a lot.
So, at what time do you stop with Grammarly? And then what's happening? And what was the psychological and what was your ambition afterwards?
So I was pretty exhausted. Around like I spent almost 8 years there, and I was exhausted, and also for me, like I did everything that I wanted to do, like from technical challenges. The last technical challenge was to integrate Grammarly into Google Docs, and it was like not clear if it is possible. So I spent around like a year and a half just doing this Google Docs integration. It was bad. There were some people who didn't believe in this stuff in the company. Yeah, but luckily we managed to integrate, and it brought us some like very good result, like meaningful result for the company, even at like big valuation. Yeah, so
How?
at that point I felt like okay, I did everything I wanted at this stage, and so I started to think about like at that point I already had 2 kids, like, and I worked pretty intensely for 8 years, so, and it was very intense, like,
How many hours per day you were working?
so at some points I worked like nonstop, just nonstop, like for example when we released this freemium stuff, I just worked for 3 months, like sleep work without any breaks. because I don't know. I think it was like part maybe of ego. I don't know. I just wanted to like make it happen. And I also like found some limits of my like energy limits, mental limits, health limits. It was pretty intense.
So that decreased your productivity, obviously.
Yeah, of course. After this like intense periods, I had to like rest 1 month. Like
So what it made you realize? Because it seems that maybe that's one thing also that give you the idea maybe of gymnasia, of health and things like that. But before this, I would like to know uh, when was the first time where you realized that you can have an idea in your mind and you can make it concrete in the real world? When was this and what was the implication? Because a lot of people in the world just believe that nothing can be done, that there is this type of wall between them and accomplishment and doing some things. And I assume that you believe that you can do something when you have already the experience of doing something, at least even if it's very small. When was this first time for you that you would say, oh my god, I can have an impact on my environment, I can change things?
yeah, so for me there was I explored this stuff like can I do something? Like it was always question and my work on my product, my work on like my company, then at Grammarly, I found out some similarities, like what it takes to make something happen. And now I can see that it's like when you have a baby, you just work first, like from 0 to 1, basically. You work non-stop so the baby can survive, and it basically means that it you made it happen, like, and from 1 you can like work slower, like slower pace. Yeah, so I learned that, and I also learned along the way like different mental models, different principles, like divide and conquer. When you do some small things, you get energy out of that. You get this flow state. So you just don't think about like can I make impact. You just learn how to get things done, basically, step by step.
So let's go back to after Grammarly, you're exhausted, you've worked a lot, you've accomplished a lot of things, you made hard things happen. Then what? You're in San Francisco. Then what happened?
Yeah, so there were like key moment. Do I want to stay and work on something different? Um, and also, do I want to stay in US? And so it's two different questions. For Grammarly, at that point, I felt like I'm not a fit to this company,
You're not what
not a fit. I'm not fitting in
anymore. Not a
anymore
fit anymore.
because Grammarly became like bigger corporation, and I just felt like I like more like creating something, some new stuff. Yeah, so I felt like this one is probably done for me. Second thing about United States, I felt like uh, it's not the best like tax situation for me in US, because there when you work you just pay half of your money to the state, and so I started to look around the world where I can move and like have better situation with like taxation, and maybe like also still have like good school, good everything for my kids. And yeah, that's why I decided to move to Georgia. No visa issues, no like good taxation for me, my personal situation. good neighborhood. I live at Lisi Veranda area. Yeah, so yeah, all puzzles came together and I moved here.
Did you do a lot of research before on the country, or it was just the main bullet points? Okay, low taxations, no visa, things like that, and then you decided to
Yeah,
come.
bullet points. Then I came here, like looked everything with my eyes, and like decided to go here.
Got it.
And I also didn't want to go back to Ukraine because I already spent like almost all my life there. I wanted to have something new, some new experience.
Got it. Got it. So you arrived here, which was 2018.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
2018, and what are your first steps here? What are you doing here? And the first thing you're doing here? Did
Yes.
you had the idea of starting a business here, or what was?
My idea was to just live, spend time with kids, and try to build some software alone without anybody, and check like, do I have enough skills to build some project that will like work and get some money for me and family. Yeah, so I built a tool that filters Telegram channels, like utility tool. But even at that point, even with my like engineering maturity, when you want to be like real full stack engineer, you still like have to fill those like gaps. For example, I had to learn like infrastructure stuff, like backend stuff, like specific engineering stuff. And I think I like concept of building blocks. When you have like building blocks of different things, you can uh, quicker create
Your product.
like your product or implement your ideas. For example, when you build a tech startup, you need some building blocks like billing. You need billing. You need know how to incorporate. You need to know how to make landing page, how to build backend.
So basically, you prefer to have those things ready available so that you can build on top of those building blocks, right?
Yes, yes. Even at Gymnasia at this stage, I use a lot of building blocks from my previous life. And in Grammarly, I used a lot of building blocks that I had before.
Got it.
Yeah, so, and I also took some building blocks from like my colleagues. Yeah, and I think this thing gives you some compounding effect, and with time you can make things faster.
Yes, yes. Okay. Okay, so you're here. You're building this bot on Telegram.
Yeah.
But then what happened? Do you finally ship the product, or?
Yeah, shipped product. Then I was a bit like exhausted with this product, so I released it, and it got some traction. Then I lost a bit of motivation on this because I think partly because it had pretty big backend part, and I'm more like design front end guy, and backend was a bit exhausting to me. Yeah, but it's still worse. Doesn't take a lot of time for me. But uh, then I lost a bit focus on that, and I can tell about how Gymnasia started.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Now let's go with Gymnasia, and what was
Yeah,
the idea? Why you have this idea? And how was it? Give us your experience about the business environment here, and how easy or how hard it was.
yeah. So for me, it wasn't like I like imagined. Okay, I'll build some Gymnasia like it is now. No, it was like Uh, I have kids, and I I brought my son to the jiu-jitsu classes in Tbilisi, here in the city center. I didn't like that I have to drive him to the city. Also, second thing was when COVID started, his group closed. And I thought maybe I'll buy some plot here in this Tbilisi area, and we will do some gardening with my kids. Maybe we will have some private like mat space where we do like bring some teachers. And I almost bought one plot like that, but then guy decided to not go, like to decline the deal, and I thought, okay, maybe if I was ready to build this private thing, maybe I should build some like available to people around. And I started to look. Maybe I can build like something from scratch, some building. So I got a land close to British school, and I started to research how to build stuff there. And I figured out that to build something, you have to get permissions, so it might be a long process. And and that guy, I like to build things quickly. I like to build MVP, like minimal product, and to understand this business. That is how I got an idea. Maybe I'll rent some space and um, yeah, so maybe I'll rent some space and open like smaller place. Then I imagined to build maybe some MMA facility. Yeah, so and at that point I had a guy who was helping me to look around. So he's Georgian. His name Sandro. He helped me to look plots, properties, and I liked him. He was like nice, honest guy, and he found this spot. And I like this spot because it has a nice view, like everything what we needed. And I also have this mindset when I notice some person with some talent, I usually like mark it like in my mind. Maybe for some project we can work together on something. So that is how I like had Georgi Bofla, designer. He's my neighbor. He has small design studio at Lisi Veranda, and he also the guy who was doing jiu-jitsu with me in the city. So I told him about this idea to open a gym. Um, and this idea, I always had idea. Okay, I like dance. I like combat sports. Maybe I'll at some point in life I'll open like dance, combat. I also like bread baking. Yeah, so at that point, I say similar way as I met George Bocha, I found Tanya who was doing a restaurant at Basiletia, and she proposed me. I'm looking for some like interesting projects, and I thought, okay, maybe she will help me to have some cafe area here. Also, I needed some person who would help to manage this sports thing because I'm not sports guy in terms of management, and I found Tanya Kabaldin. She had a studio at Vakia, and she also joined product. So as we got key people, Sandra was the person who can build, Gia the person who can design, Tanya cafe, second Tanya sports. So I could follow and use their building blocks to
Got it.
to have good pace. So we started at September at no at January of 2022,
22.
and in 6 to 8 months we like got everything together, like we built this, and we I think we did it quite fast,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
When you enter here, you feel that, and you see that attention was paid to the details, and to really have an homogeneous and holistic approach to this. You enter, you have the cafe. Maybe you can talk about the different things that you offer, different services that you offer, maybe in the cafe, maybe in terms of sports as well.
Yeah. So we designed the space the way when you enter here, you go through the cafe, and our cafe is not just cafe with coffee. It's quite good, like developed restaurant with bakery, with kitchen, a lot of equipment. So we do everything at cafe, uh, and we have
Lots of keto, lots of
keto bread.
yeah,
We want to launch healthy menu for people who want to like have food delivery for them.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, this is cafe area with nice terrace, like balcony space where you can sit, enjoy the view. We wanted to make everything cozy, and we understood that like wooden floor would make sense. So when you enter, you feel like this is a good place. It was like so we put wood, we put like simplicity in colors. Also, initially we didn't have this name Gymnasia. It was idea of George Bocha to make this Gymnasia because it fits our philosophy. Gymnasia is a Greek word which means a place where people gather together and do sports, eat some food, think,
Interesting,
explore.
interesting.
Yeah,
And that's why there is a strong sense of community here. When you enter here, you feel like everybody's doing their own things, but everybody knows each other. Everybody's smiling. That all the team is smiling. When you enter, you see Sopo smiling, greeting you, and that's not the case everywhere in Tbilisi, at least.
yeah. And this is why we are not just gym. We called ourselves healthy lifestyle community, and the community is like within the team, same community, and sometimes it's not obvious who is part of the team, who is client,
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
like all community.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So regarding the sport, you have recruited very talented people in terms of physical trainer.
Yes. So we have several parts to like our sports thing. We have combat. Combat is MMA, boxing, judo, and Brazilian jiu-jitsu. For Brazilian jiu-jitsu, we have head coach who is an Australian guy. His name is Nick. We also have a second coach, Mikhail. He's Ukrainian. He's black belt. For boxing, we have Georgian champion, which is he's doing now training. Georgi. Um, judo is huge in Georgia.
Mm,
We have nice coaches, and they speak Georgian and English.
great.
So like expats also can join the
You,
class.
you have classes for beginners to advanced.
So for judo, we for now we have for kids only classes because judo is a bit dangerous for old people because you do a lot of throws and you can injure yourself.
And it's safer to throw at
Yeah,
kids.
with yeah, kids are lighter, so it's safer for them. And for BJJ is ideal sport for adults because you do grappling on the ground, a lot of technique, and much safer. Boxing and for we have second thing is fitness part where we have also very good, I think, best coaches in Tbilisi. One of them is Vincent. By coincidence, also Australian guy. He's leading this direction. And all of our fitness coaches, they can also do some rehab programs, exercise to restore like bad knees, spine problems, back pains, like so it's not just like
Yeah.
gym. And we will soon open. I think it will be the only facility like that in the region, something similar to UCPI. Um, Facility when we can check your how your heart works, how your muscles work under the like sports slot when you like run, and it will give you a lot of good data. Then you can optimize and improve your like performance.
So first you will have, when you will come here, you will have some kind of a diagnosis of how your body is working, and then you have the physical therapist that can tell you, okay, you have one weakness here, you should do this and this and this, and adapt it to your own sport, right? That's the idea. So someone comes to Gymnasia and he have all the needs that he has filled here, right?
Yeah, yeah, and it's like it's different people would need different type of checks. Like usual regular people, they maybe will just need a check that will ensure their safety, that their heart is okay for regular classes. Sportsmen need deeper understanding how like for performance
Yeah.
for like because we work with national judo team here. Some guys are coming. We work with MMA guys. For example, Roman Delidze trained with us, and we will help them to achieve even greater results in sports.
Nice. Very
Yeah,
nice.
and obviously like recovery stuff. Like when you have some pains, you can come, have massage, have manual therapy.
Great, great. Um, how do you see business in Georgia? How do you, how easy or how hard it was? What was the difficulty you met in the process of doing this? What are the difficulties you're meeting now? And what was also the maybe the good surprises?
Uh, I think I was pretty lucky with the team that I worked with. Uh, that allowed us to get this fast pace and flow in what we do. But it's also challenging, and I'm not sure it's challenging because it's probably everywhere challenging, like to do business. It's probably that is why businesses usually fail. Like and like in Georgia, for example, it's quite easy to do bureaucracy, I think. But sometimes it's challenging in terms of to get in a good supplier of something. We had some problems with sauna because there are like two companies for the whole country. Um, yeah, so from time to time we have some problems with suppliers. I think it's one problem.
So
Second,
it's the lack of competition that makes it.
lack of competition. Then it might be some lack of like this work culture. So it's, but I think it's pretty much everywhere. It's very hard to get like the best people. So here is the same. Yeah. Um,
And do you see opportunities here, other opportunities here in Georgia, compared to what you would have seen in the US maybe, which is a developed country?
yeah, I think here is a lot of stuff undeveloped. Even with sports, there is not much choice here for sports. There were just one Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school, for example. Then there is not much dance. So, for example, when I came here, I was like, okay, I'll Google and once or two times a week I'll go to some hip hop class. So I started to Google. I didn't find anything. Then I figured out that everything is happening here in Facebook. So I found something in Facebook, But then I wanted to get a schedule, and I didn't find schedule. Then I wrote to them, and they didn't reply to me. So I was like, okay, maybe not dance for me at this point of time. And like for example, when you want to buy something, there is a good chance that you need to buy it from Amazon and deliver here, because not much distribution is here. Like small market,
Yeah.
maybe market is small. Maybe there is no people who are willing to put money and make it happen.
Interesting. 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 And how do you like life here in Georgia? How do you like life? Just living here, commuting here with the kids.
Uh, for me, it's my philosophy and maybe my way of life is I usually the person who creates stuff, so I spend majority of my time creating and not consuming. So that is why I almost always like in this like creation mode, and
Problem
it
solving.
makes me happy. So I always happy
Yeah.
and
Sure.
don't complain. So I obviously see some problems around, but for me it's good. I have like good school, good neighborhood. My kids are happy. I'm happy. So for me personal life here is like good, and I also like attitude of Georgians. They're friendly. Um, yeah, I like how Georgian women work. Like for me, it's usually nicest experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Good. Okay. Um, do you have future plans for Gymnasia? Right now, you're focusing in on developing what you already have built, and
Yeah, so Gymnasia at this point is not just one business; it's several businesses. I think this is a challenge for us because we have a restaurant business, we have retail store business because we sell sport goods like kimonos. We became distributor of French kimonos brand Fight Art. We became distributor of Venom brand, which is like main brand for UFC. And we want to grow this part of business. We also have massive sports like group classes and private trainings, and we have this performance institute. We will have laboratory for like sportsmen and regular people. This can be like other major part. For the sports part, we also have a pretty big ninja park facility. Ninja park is a separate sports discipline called OCR, obstacle course race, and we first who do this in Georgia. And this is just the beginning, because we want to grow it a lot. We want to host camps for combat, for example, bring kids and judo sportsmen here for camps, for competitions, do the same for jiu-jitsu. So Gymnasia is not just local project, it is international project. And this is physical part of business, and it gives us a good foundation to build digital products. To digital products means to create video courses, different media, and sports programs based on this physical experience. And this is like next stage. For now, our goal is to reach break-even point when the company like have enough money to sustain itself. And I think like if everything good, like we are like 2 3 months away from that.
great, 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 fantastic. We wish you good luck. And okay, do you want to add something, Igor? Maybe. Uh,
Um, Yeah, I think I would love to invite people who live in Georgia and who want to have have a good place for their health, for health of their family. They can come here and just they can spend whole day here basically.
Yeah.
They can eat here, do sport, bring their kids, and we have a lot of families that come here and spend a lot of time here, and kids just love this place.
Yes. And to
Yeah.
me personally, it's a very a place that I love. Uh, it's very pleasurable to come here, even if you just also, for freelancers that on the cafe, we see a lot of people with their computers, and they can eat here. They come here in the morning. They eat here. At the end of the day, they can have a sauna or things like that. So it's really a place that is unique in Tbilisi, probably in Georgia, probably even in Caucasus. So yes, we really invite people to come here and to check, at least to check, and they will make their own mind. But that's really a place that I recommend in Georgia because, and I've shown the place to fighters in France and elsewhere. Even in Europe, you don't have this type of place. Like it's not common. It's not common. So really, people need to check by themselves and make their own opinion about it. But you should check for sure. Okay, so it was great. So first podcast for us for Soccer Ball Insight, and for the next time we will have maybe even a deeper discussion. Maybe we can follow up with Igor on his different stages of accomplishment for his company and maturity. So thank you for following. Thank you for watching and.
Click like, subscribe,
Yes, yeah.
of
Click, like,
course.
subscribe. Come to Gymnasia. Follow Soccer Inside. Follow Gymnasia on Instagram and other social medias. And we see you soon. Bye bye.
Cheers.